So, do you guys remember Will Smith? You know, the guy who was an iconic part of most of our childhoods, who later became an action movie star, and is now a complete joke after a lot of stuff happened, most involving his wife, and his kid, and Chris Rock? Yeah, well, now the Smiths want to get into anime, and I am deeply worried. For those who don't know, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith's entertainment venture company, Westbrook Inc, is entering a strategic partnership with Studio Azuki, a newly formed US-based animation company that hopes to pioneer next-generation anime content for a global audience. Now, this may just be me, but in my opinion, anime is Japanese. You can have anime-inspired shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender and the original Teen Titans, but that does not make them anime. Though I can let it slide, as Studio Azuki was created in partnership between 3 companies, 2 of which are Japanese. There's Comisma Incorporated, a Tokyo-based manga publisher, and Xenotoon Inc, a Tokyo-based animation studio. The third being Azuki, where the studio gets its name. Azuki's started as a digital NFT brand. This does not fill me with confidence. The studio stating that it's exploring how blockchain technology can reshape anime, financing, production, and consumption also does not fill me with confidence. I know this isn't inherently bad, but I've met way too many NFT bros who just won't shut up about the blockchain, so I immediately cringe whenever it's brought up. But everywhere I look, I see Westbrook and Studio Azuki talking about telling stories that transcend borders and general or global audiences. And that's the biggest issue I have with this. Anime as a medium is steeped in a rich culture, filled with ideas and tropes that, yeah, aren't always the most palatable for some, but give it a distinct identity. That identity would not mesh well with Hollywood. While I'm not one of those guys who preach that, oh, everything Hollywood does now is bad, I do know that Hollywood just doesn't get anime. Anyone who's seen the Netflix live-action Cowboy Bebop knows what I mean. Hell, Shinichiro Watanabe himself stated that he only watched the opening scene before concluding it was clearly not Cowboy Bebop. And hell, can you blame him? They sucked out the personality, the coolness, from arguably the coolest anime of all time. When I hear these companies talk about transcending borders, innovation, and global strategy, all I hear is that they want to sanitize and remove what makes anime special, to make the entertainment we love even more run by communities instead of creatives. And I don't want that to happen. Rather than changing anime to fit some made-up global audience, I'd much rather see other countries producing their own original animated shows, like To Be Hero X, a Chinese donghua which has taken the world by storm with its incredible animation and storytelling. I've been an anime fan since I was a kid. I didn't need it to be made for me. I loved it as it was. Those stories resonated with me and so many millions of others, 1,000 times more than Hollywood stories did even back then. So the idea of anime becoming more like Hollywood honestly terrifies me. Maybe I'd be more willing to be open-minded about this if these two weren't involved. I used to love Will Smith, but he's been on a downward spiral for a while, and I don't see it getting better. And Jada, I don't want anything to do with her. These two are the last people you would ever want to influence something you love, and I have zero hope for them. They aren't like Samuel L. Jackson, who was not only an executive producer of Afro Samurai, but also voiced the character. He has a genuine love for anime, and even back in 2005, unabashedly admitted to loving it, long before it was mainstream. If it was Samuel L. Jackson behind this, I'd be a lot more willing to go along with it, but he's not. I've watched Studio Azuki's work, and it honestly seems kind of cool. The animation is amazing and the concepts were interesting, but I can only see this partnership ending badly. This whole thing stinks of greed and a desperate attempt to stay relevant. I may be wrong, but I've never been an optimist. At the end of the day, I'm just a dumb YouTuber who is just voicing his thoughts to whoever will listen. But I like to think I'm not alone in these thoughts. And if I'm right, please let me know. What do you think of this mess? And was this your first time learning Papa Smith is looking to enter the anime landscape? Please like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe. This is a different kind of video than the type I usually do, but if you like it, I may do some more of these. I'm Merlin with a Y, and thank you for listening to this old man ramble. Now before I go, all I have to say is this. Will, Jada, keep my anime out of your fucking mouth!